Here we go. Oh, how good is the Lord. Oh, how good is the Lord. Oh, how good is the Lord. I never will forget what He has done for me. That was pretty good, boy. All right. Ready? Take my hand and follow me to see the sea walker, the blind man healer, the leper cleansing man of Galilee.
Galilee!
He's the soul saver, the one who sets me free. Take my hand and follow me. Take my hand and follow me to see the sea.
Galilee!
He's the soul saver, the one who sets me free. Take my hand and follow me. Do it super, super quietly. Ready? That's okay. Ready? Take my hand and follow me to see the sea. Walker, the blind man,
Galilee!
he's the soul saver, the one who sets me free. Take my hand and follow me. Last time, take my hand and follow me to see the sea. Walker, the blind man, healer, the leper cleansing man of Galilee.
Galilee!
He's the soul saver, the one who sets me free. Take my hand and follow me. Yeah! Woohoo! Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Acts, and the letter to the Romans, 1st and 2nd Corinthians, Galatians, and Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, 1st and 2nd Thessalonians, 1st and 2nd Timothy, Titus, and Philemon, Hebrews, and the book of James, 1st and 2nd Peter, 1st and 2nd, 3rd John, Jude, and Revelation.
Jesus went to the town of Nazareth, where he had lived when he was a boy. Now Jesus was grown. He traveled all around teaching people about God. On the Sabbath day, Jesus went to the synagogue in Nazareth. The synagogue was a special building where Jews met together to pray, worship, and learn about the scriptures.
Jesus stood up to read scripture. He unrolled the scroll of the prophet Isaiah and read, "The Spirit of the Lord is on me. He has chosen me to tell good news to the poor. He has sent me to tell the captives that they are free, to tell the blind that they can see, to free people who have been treated badly, and to announce that the Lord's favor is on us."
Then Jesus rolled up the scroll. He gave it to the attendant and sat down. Everyone in the synagogue stared at Jesus. Jesus said, "Today, as you listened to me reading these words, they came true." The people said good things about Jesus and they were amazed at him. But some of the people in Nazareth had known Jesus from his youth. "Isn't this Joseph's son?" they asked. Jesus said, "No prophet is accepted in his hometown." Jesus told the people about times when God used prophets to help people who were not Jews. He reminded them of Elijah and Elisha. When there was a terrible famine in Israel and no rain fell there for 3.5 years, plenty of widows in the country needed help. But the prophet Elijah did not help the widows in Israel. Instead, God sent Elijah to help a widow in another land.
And when Elisha was a prophet, many people in Israel had leprosy. They wanted to be healed, but Elisha did not heal them. Instead, he healed a man named Naaman. Naaman was from Syria, a country that hated God's people. The people in the synagogue were angry. They forced Jesus out of town. They wanted to throw him off a cliff, but Jesus walked right through the crowd and went on his way.
Hundreds of years before Jesus was born, the prophet Isaiah wrote about God's plan to send a Messiah. The Messiah would bring good news and redeem people who were broken and hurting. Jesus read Isaiah's words and announced that he is the promised Messiah.
Question time. Where did Jesus grow up? Who wrote the scroll that Jesus read from? When did Isaiah write these words? What did Jesus teach about the Messiah? How did the people of Nazareth respond to Jesus? What does it mean to accept Jesus instead of reject him? What can we do if we know someone who rejects Jesus? Hope Kids, what makes people special? People are special because we are made in God's image. Hope Kids, do you know what that means, made in God's image? How about you talk with your grown-up about what this means? All right, friends, last week we learned the first part of our verse. For God loved the world in this way. Can you say that with me? Let's say it 3 times. For God loved the world in this way. For God loved the world in this way. For God loved the world in this way. Good job! All right, now we're going to learn the second part of the verse. Now, Hope Kids, after this part, there's still more to this Bible verse that you can learn with your adults if you want to. But for our lesson, we're just going to learn the first and second part of the verse. The next part is, He gave His one and only Son. Let's break it down. He gave His one and only Son. Good job. He gave His one and only Son. Hope Kids, who is the He? God, right? And who is the Son? Jesus is the Son. This is telling us that God gave the world Jesus, His one and only Son. Let's say the whole thing together. We'll do it 3 times. I'll say it, and you say it after me. He gave His one and only Son. He gave His one and only Son. He gave His one and only Son. John 3:16. Great job, Hope Kids. Next week, we'll put both parts together. You can work on this part this week, okay?
Is that right? It goes, I made it. That's right, that's right. Let's try it again. I may never march with the infantry, ride with the cavalry, shoot with the artillery. I may never for the enemy, 'cause I'm in the Lord's army.
Yes, sir!
I'm in the Lord's army.
Yes, sir!
I'm in the Lord's army.
Yes, sir!
I may never march with the infantry, ride with the cavalry, shoot with the artillery. I may never shoot for the enemy, 'cause I'm in the Lord's army.
Yes, sir!
I may never fly like Spider-Man. No, is it right? Fly like Superman first. I may never fly like Superman, climb like Spider-Man, bend like Banana Man. Indiana Jones is not the kind of man I am. I'm in the Lord's army.
Yes, sir!
I'm in the Lord's army. I'm in the Lord's army.
Yes, sir!
I may never fly like Superman, climb like Spider-Man, bend like Banana Man. Indiana Jones is not the kind of man I am, 'cause I'm in the Lord's army.
Yes, sir! And I'm in the Lord's army!
Will we sing it together, boys? Are we ready? Can I see your thumbs? Show us your thumbs. Good news, Jesus was born.